Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a debut setter again today. It's Ren the Mushroom, who is reintroducing us to taxicab distance, which is, I think, a mathematical concept before it was a Sudoku concept, although I know enough about maths that who knows. Who knows? What I do know, no, I don't even know this. I was going to say I do know that Ren the Mushroom is not the same as Ren the singer-songwriter who Simon once did a reaction video about to an absolutely brilliant song about Ren's mental health. It was an exceptional bit of work. Look it up on the channel if you haven't seen it already. No, I was going to say, it's clear that this Ren is not the singer-songwriter because this Ren identifies as the mushroom, but that requires us to accept that a mushroom cannot be a singer-songwriter. And if we're accepting that, we might accept that a mushroom couldn't set a Sudoku. So it's all up in the air, really, isn't it? Anyway, we'll have a look at the rules for this in a moment. Don't forget that on Patreon, the month's reward is Caroline's Halloween Adventure by the Paint by Numbers Institute. Available as a competition till the 20th only. But there's loads of other content on Patreon. The Duality Pack, some long Sudoku solves, my difficult crosswords every month, and sometimes some easier crosswords that I do, connections every 4 days or so. Loads of content on Patreon. Do just join us. It really isn't much, and there's a lot of content. We do try and keep you happy. As we do with our apps, which are fabulous apps. We have Classic Sudoku. Now, I can tell this isn't a Classic Sudoku because the number of given digits in it isn't 17, which is the minimum. I have still no idea in my life how anybody ever proved that, but it is apparently true. And this one must therefore be using the taxicab rule. Well, I mean, there's a bit more to it than that. We'll get to that, sorry. Classic Sudoku is, however, one of our apps, and there are many apps, and they are very, very good. As is our merchandise, including the latest I'm One of Simon's Favourite People t-shirts. And check out the links under the video. And also, of course, we've got Sven's SUDOKU PAD on the links under the video. So loads going on around the channel as always. We love it when you engage with us, even if it's just to post a comment saying, I can't believe Mark missed the 5 in row 3 for so long, or whatever. Anyway. What are the rules of nexus? Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. So far, so standard. One cell within the grid to be deduced is a multiplier nexus cell. Okay. The value n within this nexus cell, so the digit it contains, indicates that there are exactly n ones which have a taxicab distance of 1 away from the nexus. Let me just explain what a taxicab distance is before I continue. So between, let's put a purple cell there and a yellow cell there. The taxicab distance between those is the shortest distance making orthogonal moves, going horizontally or vertically. So you might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells to get from yellow to purple, and the taxicab distance there is therefore 6. And you'll see that as long as you go economically, i.e. you always go north or east, the distance will always be 6, whatever route you take. So that's why that has a taxicab distance of 6. It's a quite simple concept with a quite complicated name in a way, but anyway. So for the nexus cell, which is n, there are exactly n ones which have a taxicab distance of 1 from the nexus, exactly n twos which have a taxicab distance of 2 from the nexus, n threes with a taxicab distance of 3 from the nexus, etc., all the way up to 9. And that's it. That's all the rules we get, that and the givens, which is an intriguing concept. Give it a try. Give it a try. I don't know how hard this is. Check the video length. I'm going to see what happens. Let's get cracking. So, I'm tempted always to try and do a bit of Sudoku first, like put a 3 into one of those 2 cells. But I can see that there are very few digits in this puzzle with multiple repeats. I think there are 3 3s and 3 4s, and only 2 of any other digit, no 9s at all. And that is not going to get us very close. So I'm going to have to think about the multiplier nexus cell. Now, what are the rules? The rules are, I mean, it got weird, I think, when it said up to and including 9. No, that's because I'm thinking of taxicab distances of 9. Right. Wherever the nexus cell is, it couldn't see 9 9s, 9... Well, it could... Okay. Wherever the nexus cell is, it can't be a 9, because then it would have to see 9 other 9s at some taxicab distance. And then there would be 10 9s in the puzzle, and that's not possible. So it's not a 9. I also think it's not going to be anything high, but if it was an 8, if, say, this cell was an 8 and the nexus, it would have to see 8 8s 8 cells away. I mean, it's palpable nonsense, but I'm not sure quite how to demonstrate that that is so obviously, you know, somehow it's clearly not going to be 8 7 6 or 5, I reckon, but... Oh, it's not going to be 1, actually, either. Because imagine this is the nexus. 1 is 1 cell. It's saying there would be 1 1 1 cell away. Now that's not very many 1s, but it is very much too close. If that was a nexus 1, one of these two would have to be a 1 to fulfill the rule, and that's not possible because of Sudoku. So it's not a 1. And I thought I was going to be eliminating down until it was a 1, so that's interesting. Right, why is it obvious that it's not 8 8s? I'll tell you why. Because look, imagine this was the nexus 8. Then the cells that are 8 away in a taxicab distance include that one. Yeah, you can do this sort of chart of them. I couldn't fit 8 8s into that group of cells because they only cover 4 boxes. And the same would be true for 7s. You just wouldn't get the coverage of boxes that you would need to have 7 7s or 6 6s, even if that was a 6. So this would be, oops, the group of cells that are 6 away from that. Oh, well, you're getting close now. You're up to 5 boxes that those travel through. Okay, but I think I can rule out 6 on this sort of slightly weird basis. And then we're talking about 5, 4, 3, or 2 as the nexus cell. If it was a 5, let's just think about that being the nexus cell. It's not so much about there being 5, 5. I don't know, I'm getting myself a bit confused now. This would be the sort of range of the taxicabs. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's not impossible, I suppose, to visualize that there could be 5 5s in those cells. So the nexus is 5, 4, 3, or 2. With 5, I mean, you'd be placing 5 1s, 5 2s, 5 3s, 5 4s, and 5 5s very carefully in the grid. That's quite a lot of work to do. I don't know. It seems very unlikely to be 5s, but I need to come up with a way of articulating a proof that it's not, don't I? 5s would be I was thinking for this 5, and I've gone wrong there. We'd be looking at those cells. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's not enough from there. Oh, hang on. It's ones. We've got to go back to ones again. Oh, I'm so slow. How many ones can a nexus cell see? Because it's only one away. It can see 1 in its column and 1 in its row, and that is the maximum. And we've ruled out 1 as the nexus cell, so 2 is a nexus cell. Oh, that's so, I don't know, it's so clear now. 6 minutes in, I finally figured out the absolute obvious that 2 is the nexus number because of the number of ones it can see. So it's going to see those 2 ones, and they're going to be, one is horizontal and one is vertical. They're going to be touching each other diagonally. And therefore, the 2 itself is going to have to be touching a box border so that it can put 1 into one box and 1 into another one. I am going to colour the possible nexus cells that are touching box borders and then eliminate them until we know where the 2 is. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I hope to do that. Right, cells which don't have a 2 in purple cannot be the nexus cell, which is a 2. That, okay, nothing which needs to border box 5, which already has a 1 in it. Actually, oh, that could be a 2. I mean, it's weird. I want to just quickly eliminate things. It's not actually quick to do. Oh, none of these cells can be the nexus 2 because they all see a 2. That's quick. Right, well that's reduced us considerably. That can't be a 2 because the 2 ones it's touching would be in the same row. That can't be a 2 because there's only 1 cell. That can't be a 2 because the potential 2 ones would both be in the same box. That can't be a 2 because the... yes, it could. No, it couldn't, because it would be touching that 1 and the only other cell available then would be there. That only has 1 possible taxicab neighbour of a 1. Not ruling that one out yet. Okay, we've got a chunk done there. That's good. 2 can't be in either of those cells because one of the ones would end up in box 7 where there's already a 1. 2 can't be here, here or here because one of the ones would be in its row. If that was a 2, the other 1 would be in the same box as the 1 in the centre. If that was a 2, neither of those could be a 1, so we'll forget that. This one seems possible, and therefore quite likely for some reason. This one would put a 1 in the central box. No, but there's this other issue. There's, as well as there being 2 1s 1 cell away, there are 2 2s 2 cells away. They can't be in the same row or column as the nexus 2. So they are a diagonal king's move away. Both of them. And that means we need to find a run of cells where the nexus is in the middle and the other 2s are both in different boxes. And that is really going to constrain us. So I can rule out middles where the 2 diagonal cells touching it can't be in 3 boxes between them. And that's loads. That's loads. I think I'm going to have to leave the ones clustered around box corners. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That one can go as well. Right. Here we go. We're down to 7 possible nexus cells to put a 2 in. And that one won't work because one of the 2s would be in this row. Actually, I'd forgotten this cell. This is still... No, it's not possible because one of those on the run of 3 that goes into 2 boxes is filled by a different digit. Right. It's one of these 6 is the nexus 2. It can't be either of those two because they'd have a 2 to the west side in the same column as another 2. I really hope I don't eliminate all the cells and realise I've done this wrong. That one would have 2's there and there. Now, where would its 1's be? This is definitely possible, I think. Although, oh no, it couldn't have a 1 to the north or a 1 to the south. That is not possible. This one would need its 2 1's there, but its 2 2's there, and that's not possible. This one would have a 1, no, a 1 there and a 1 there, and 2's there and there. That is possible. This one, no, again, it can't have a 1 to the north or south. We've done it. There is the nexus cell. I'm leaving it purple. It's a 2. Its 2 1's are there and there. Oh, wouldn't it be great if this fills in? Its 2 2's are there and there. And those are the digits that really give us everything. Right. Now I'm going to try and radiate out. And it's only got, I mean, it's no surprise in a way that the nexus is a 2 because we now only have to place 2 3's, 4's, 5's, 6's, 7's, 8's and 9's specially. But where are the 2 3's? They're either a knight's move away or 3 cells away in a straight line. But straight line for this isn't going to work because of that 3 and that 3. So the 2 cells, the 2 3's are definitely a knight's move away. That one is 4 away. That is possible. And that is possible. They're the only possible 3's. So they're done. Now we've got to find 2 4's 4 cells away. I think it is just going to be easier to do my taxicab maps. So this is the string of possible 4's, and then we just eliminate the ones that are impossible, which have other digits in, or see a 4 directly by Sudoku. And there they go. And we're left with these 2, which must be the 2 4's. Yeah, that's good. Right, let's get rid of that colouring. Let's go out to 5's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and we've already got one placed, intriguingly. These are 5's. We need 2 5's. Okay, this is less straightforward because the only ones I can eliminate are those which currently see a 5, and those are those ones. And we've already been given one of these taxicab 5's, so the other 5 is one of those 6 cells. Right, I think maybe this is going to get harder. Now, 6's are 1 cell away from the 5, so we just go round the outside like a buffalo girl. There are 2 6's in these cells. What can we eliminate for having other digits? Those. What can we eliminate because it sees a 6? Only that one. So this is getting harder now. Now, what about 7? Or maybe it'll get easier when we get out as far as 9's. 7's are in this, I wanted to call it a taxi rank, and that is quite the wrong thing to call it, but never mind. Let's make 7's grey, and obviously 4, 2, and 8 are not 7's. 7 sees a lot of cells. 7's are good. That can't be 7 as well because of this one. Right, that one is a 7, and one of these 2 is a 7. Now we need 2 8's, and they're 1 string out from greys. Oh, I was going to colour. No, this one is not 8 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 8's are in these possible cells, and there. We're spreading the net wider. So we can eliminate those that see an 8 straight away. And there are 2 8's in these orange cells. And then 9's are further out than that, and they must be in those 4 cells. And there are 2 9's in those, but no 9's marked in the grid. Okay, let's do Sudoku now. We need 2 5's in yellow, 2 6's in green, 2 7's in grey, wasn't it? I'd forgotten that. 2 8's in orange and 2 9's in blue. Okay, so I'm going to try and do some Sudoku. So there's a 1 in one of those cells. There's a 7 in one of these. That is a definite 4 for column 3. That's going to put 4 in one of these cells. And you can see this is going to then impinge on, whichever one is a 4 is going to impinge on either green or orange. Yeah, I begin to get, oh, that's a definite 2. So that's ruled out of the yellow 5 possibilities. Now, okay, this is how we do it. We do Sudoku. I like it when we do Sudoku. Now, 7 in one of those cells. We've got a 1 in one of those two. 1, 1. I should have probably been a bit more methodical about how I went about the digits. Oh, look, 7 has to be in one of those in the box. These are an 8-9 pair. That's a 5-7 pair. What was yellow trying to be? A 5. Okay, that's possible. That's not a 2. There is a 2 up there. 2s don't matter so much now we know a bit about the nexus. I like that word nexus. I don't know why. Satisfying X in it or something. Oh, that is a 4. Right, green is not trying to be 4. Green is trying to be 6. Then there's another 4 somewhere here, and that's a little X-wing of remaining 4s. 3's not doing so well at the top of the grid. Oh, don't say this is going to peter out, and I'm going to have to... Oh, that's a 3-6 pair. Now, what's green trying to be? A 6. Okay, so that's very possible. These are from 1, 8, 9. But green is trying to be a 6, so that is not possible. We need 2 green 6s, remember. Yeah, okay, I don't know much about that yet. Now, these are from 5, 6, 8, 9. Gosh, I mean, there's quite a bit of Sudoku to do in this puzzle. This might get very tricky, guys. That is 7 or 9, just by elimination. 8 is in one of those cells in column 5. I want to use these other cells, but I don't know how. Right, 6, 3, 1, 4. We need a 2 in one of those. Oh, that's a 1-3 pair. Right, bingo. Blue cannot be there, so these 2 blues are the places where 9s go. And we've got some 9s in the grid at last. And, okay, I can get rid of that colouring. I mean, I've done that colour now. And they're not actually, well, they're not helping very much, unless I'm wrong. There's a 9 there, there's a 9 in one of those, there's a 9 in one of those. Ah, that 9 is actually looking directly at this cell. So 8 there, 9 there. Now, 8, orange is trying to be 8. That can't be orange. Now, one of these is an 8 in the final column, and that is an 8 in, that's the other 8. So this is a 1. That's not a 1. 2, 8, 9. Yeah, this is interesting. This really does come together very interestingly. That is 5 or 6. One of these 2 oranges is an 8. One of the 2 greys is a 7. That is 1, 2, or 6, because it can't be... Oh, I suppose I knew from the box that it couldn't be 8 or 7. It just seemed quite an interesting conclusion suddenly. This is 5, 6, or 7. Let's just keep trying to do some Sudoku. That 5, 7 pair, for instance. 2, 1, 4, 3, 5, 7, 9. This is 6 or 8. Is there any way of using that one of those oranges is 8 or one of the greys is 7? I don't really see how I use that at this point. Oh, there might be something going on. I'll figure it out. 2 is in one of those. 3, 7, 5, 1. Oh, this is a 1, 2, 4 triple. Yes, look, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4. This is a 1, 2, 4 triple. And therefore it doesn't contain any green or orange, whatever they are. And orange was one of the places for 8. So that is now an 8. And that's a 2. And 8s are done. We've done our orange 8s. There is an 8 in one of those cells, but it's not orange. It is going to eliminate one of the yellows or greens. Interesting. Now, 1, 2, 4, 3. That's not as helpful as I expected in the bottom, in box 9. It's not very helpful in row 9 either, extraordinarily. That is now a 7. So we've finished column 4, and then we've finished column 3, and we've put a definite 1, 6 in green. We need another 6 in green. We need 1 grey 7, and we need 1 more yellow 5. Okay, we're motoring now. That can't be a 7. This is a known 5 in this row. That's a 6. That is our second 6 in green. Okay, that's quite interesting, because I've been taking out the colours before, but now the position I'm in is that these can't be 6s. So I need to record that somehow. So in this row, 6 is in one of those cells. I'm going to leave those in because I want to make sure I don't try and put 6 in them. Right. This is good. This is going well. Now, 6 is placed down here. That's a 6. Those aren't. That's giving me an 8, 9 pair here, so that's a 5, 6 pair. This is a 7, 8, 9 triple going on here, I think. That's definitely right. 1, 3, 2. This is a 7. That's the only place it can go in the box. This is a 9, 5 pair. I do know the order of those. That's a 5 to finish the row. This is a clever puzzle, actually. That's not a 2. That's not a 4. That was this 1, 2, 4 triple. I should have trimmed them down at the start. Still, I've got to find a 7 in grey, avoid 6 in green. Oh, look, I've got my 2 yellow 5s. Hadn't noticed that. This is a 7, therefore. Ah. And these yellows are not allowed to be 5s now. Well, this one can't be. It C's a 5. Oh, that's going to get interesting at the bottom, isn't it? So, hang on. These are 3, 6, and 7. This one can't be 7 by Sudoku. This one can't be 6 by taxicab. And this one can't be 3 by Sudoku. But they still retain their chocolate teapot naughtiness. Now, we need 1, 7 in grey, we need no 6s in green, and we need no more 5s in yellow. So 5 in this box is in one of those 2 cells. And where's 6? Because we haven't pen. That 7 pencil mark is a hangover from pencil marking grey 7s. So these are the positions for 8 in the box. These are the positions for 9. These are for 5. But 7 can go in any of those at the moment by Sudoku. And 6, where can 6 go? Not in green. That is the rule. Oh, bother. So 6 is in one of those, and that hasn't eliminated anything down. Right, but I needed to do that to understand what we were seeing. 6 in box 3 is in one of those 2. Okay, not with 2, because it's whatever that is also in those cells. So these are from 1, 3, and 6. And that forms a triple with that. Oh, this has become an 8. That's just easy Sudoku that I hadn't noticed. And that's 2 and 9. They're done. Right. These are from 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm literally going to put in the pencil marks. I might as well convert these corner marks to pencil marks, because that's effectively what to center marks, because that's effectively what they are. And I mean, this is very interesting. If what I've done is right, and I'm going to check that, this is a 6-7 pair now, and I'm not sure I would have understood that. Is this right? This can't be 5, 8, or 9, or 1, 2, or 4, or 3. Yes, that is just good pencil marking. And this can't be 3. Yeah, okay, that is a genuine 6-7 pair. So that's a 1. Those aren't 1s. None of these are 1s, and that looks like it's going to help. 2, 3, 4, triple. That's a 6. That's a 3. That's a 1. Now I don't really need green anymore, because 6 can never be in the green cells. 5 is still confined to one of those by the yellowness, and grey I still need 1. Okay, but we're nearly done now, surely. Just going to remove the corner marks. Something here is very obvious. 6, that can't be a 6. So 6 is now in one of those two cells by elimination, and that is a 5, and that's a 6, and 6 is not there. 5 can't be there, and by the taxicab rule, this is where 5 has to be, because we've had our 2 yellow 5s. Now I'm going to get rid of my yellow cells. I'm actually going to get rid of the greys, because obviously we're going to fulfill the rule of only having 2 grey 7s. Now that 5, and this has become a 7 definitely, and I think we're finishing off now. That is a very clever puzzle with a lot of interest in it. What, I mean, and finding the nexus at the beginning. I mean, I wasn't quick about that, but I did at least get it accurately right. That's just intriguing. I've really enjoyed that puzzle. Well done, Ren the Mushroom. Hope to see you again on the channel. And there will be a solution version of this puzzle when you try and solve it. Don't worry about that. Great fun, and just an example of how brilliant variant Sudoku can be. Really interesting puzzle, that. And I don't think, you know, a taxicab distance is a slightly complicated idea, but it's the only idea going in the puzzle. And I do like to see people achieving ideas with givens sometimes. Some people think it's old-fashioned, but I quite like it. Thank you for watching us. We'll see you again tomorrow, I hope. Bye for now.